Hi there, I'm Chris Fenn from Legacy. Welcome to Marketing Mondays. You know what? It is really early on a Monday morning, and we're just about to get to the fall. It's dark out still, or now it's like the hours are changing, so things are shifting. But there are certain things that don't change along the way when it comes to your marketing, and one of them is a simple grammar lesson that's critical, and it's about: are you speaking first person, second person, or third person? So you're talking about I, you, or they. Like who are you talking about in your marketing? And I was speaking with an advisor last week who's a very seasoned advisor and an incredibly smart guy. Very, very smart at what he does, especially on the investment side of things. And his content, and so if you have a conversation with this advisor, he's very much about his clients. He's very much about you and about they. But in all of his copy, everything he's written, it's about I, we, my, ours. And so he's constantly talking about himself, and it wasn't obvious. But as soon as you flag that, it's like, oh my goodness. So what happens is that like people don't want to hear people talk about themselves for very long, and certainly if they're not when they're in a buying situation. They want to know that you're talking about them. They want to hear that you have this need, that you're probably dealing with these things, that if you're like others, you're probably thinking about this or thinking about that. And if you frame it with those you statements first and then move it to, so that's why we, and then fill in the blank. So you're probably confused. You're probably trying to figure out what's the best way to do it. You're probably wondering, who to trust when you're listening to the press about what's going on in the markets and can I trust a financial advisor and so on. And that's why we make sure that we curate information so that we get rid of the clutter for it. That's why we've been here for 30 years. That's why all of our planning starts by getting clear on what matters to you and why that's important before we go to any kind of recommendation, because how could we do it otherwise? You can always talk about the things that you want to talk about yourself, but you got to start with talking about them first. So this week, I want you to think about your language and think about how you can shift it to you statements first, and then follow up with an explanation about how you've addressed that by talking about yourselves. Something to think about. Have a great week.